And then we're just going to start off by finding our breath. So feeling your body sitting on the floor or wherever it is, feeling your body connected to the ground, to the earth. And just starting to watch the breath. Not looking to make any adjustments or any changes to the way that we're breathing. Just noticing the breath. Feeling the rise and fall of the chest, or perhaps of the tummy. Just checking in with where you're feeling the breath moving through your body at the moment. If you find that your mind's starting to wander away, which is what it always wants to do, you can just mentally say to yourself, I am breathing in. I am breathing out. If you'd like to, you can put one hand on your heart space, one hand on the tummy, just to help really feel that connection as the breath moves into the body, moves out of the body. Paying a little bit more awareness now to how you're breathing this morning. Whether you're taking slow, deep, even breaths, whether your inhale is a little bit longer than your exhale. Or perhaps it's the other way around, your exhale is longer. Seeing if you can start to move the breath down into the tummy area if it's not already rising and falling from there. Feeling again the grounding of the body on the earth, on the floor. Feeling the weight, heaviness of the body. And perhaps you've noticed that the breath has started to slow down a little bit. So let's start now checking in with our physical bodies first of all. How does your physical body feel today? Do you feel sensations of temperature throughout your body? Areas that feel warm or areas of coolness? Does your body feel light or heavy? As you scan through your physical body from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes, and you notice areas of tension or spaciousness. If you feel points of tightness or tension in the body, what happens when you bring the awareness of your breath to those places? Perhaps on an inhale, you can feel your body. On an exhale, relax your body. Notice whether you're holding any tension through your face, through the jaw. Perhaps you can soften your tongue. Allow the shoulders to release away from the ears. Now moving on to checking in with our emotional body. How do you feel in yourself today? Are you able to find one word to describe your emotional state? And remember that it's absolutely fine to not know how you feel. And as we move through our awareness of these different parts of our being, let's try to do that without any judgment on ourselves or on anybody else. And just allowing ourselves to recognize how we're feeling emotionally. I'm so used to having to push those sensations away. And if you've found a word to describe your emotion today, what would be the opposite? The opposite emotion. We're practicing patience and acceptance today, just allowing ourselves to be. Let's move on now to seeing how our energetic body is today. How much energy do you feel that you have? What does the energetic body mean to you? Perhaps you're able to imagine the energy that you're made of. Again, trying not to pass any judgment on these sensations that we're exploring. All the time trying to come back to the breath. And if you'd like to, now is a good time to set an intention for your practice this morning. Perhaps there's a way you'd like to feel at the end of the class. Perhaps your intention is the reason that you've joined this practice today. Or perhaps you'd like to dedicate this practice to someone that's in your thoughts. It could be somebody that you know, somebody that you're aware of, and where in the world you want to send the positive energy of your practice to. And trying to cultivate sensations of love, compassion, and gratitude for the next 45 minutes, if we can. And it's completely fine if you want to dedicate your practice to yourself. Self-compassion is so important. So coming back to the breath, noticing the breath coming in, moving out of the body. Always trying to come back to the breath whenever the mind starts to wander. Not being harsh with ourselves when we notice that the mind has gone elsewhere, which it is bound to do over and over again. And it's the process of bringing the awareness back to your point of focus, your breath. It has all of the benefits we enjoy from mindfulness and meditation, neuroplasticity. So we're going to move on into our practice now. And we're going to start off with a wide-legged child's pose. So if you've managed to gather some cushions or blankets or anything like that, please feel free to use them. I'm going to try and do the practice with you as much as I can. And I'm going to be putting us through these postures for about 5 minutes at a time. So I will be fiddling with my watch a little bit, but that's just because that's where my timer is. Please don't feel that you have to mirror exactly what I'm doing. Try and find a version of these postures that works for you. We're not looking to move into our end range of movement in this class. So please don't feel that you need to push yourself into any extreme postures or anything like this. We're not looking really to work our muscles at all in this class. we're aiming to apply a very slow, steady stretch to our interconnective tissue, our fascia. So coming in front of your props, I'm taking my knees a little bit wider than hip width apart. I'm not taking it so far that I'm feeling too much of a stretch. For some of you, you might want to take your knees as far apart as you're able to just start to feel a bit of a sensation through the legs. And then we're just going to come down very slowly, remembering always to move really slowly in and out of these postures. Perhaps just coming to here works well for you. Maybe you can take yourself a little bit deeper, making a pillow for your hand, with your hands for your face, and then just turning the head to one side. And you'll notice as you've come down, perhaps you're starting to feel the sensation of tension through the legs a little bit. And what we're aiming to do is just sit with that sensation, as long as it doesn't become uncomfortable. Just seeing if we can breathe into the sensation of tension, and also noticing what else is going on through our body in this posture. Now we're going to stay here for 5 minutes. If you want to have your head face down, if that's not uncomfortable for your nose and mouth, that's fine. It might be easiest to just turn your head to one side, and then when we're about halfway through, I'll let you know that it's time to change the side of your face that you're resting on. Well, I'm not going to do too much talking through these postures. It's just an opportunity for you to feel into the body, stay connected to the breath. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Noticing how after a minute or so, our physical body might start to soften into this position. It's always open to you to back off a little bit if it feels too intense, or to take the posture a little bit deeper if that's what feels appropriate for you. Staying with the breath. Then turning the head so that you're getting an equal stretch through both sides of the neck here. Seeing if you can move the breath all the way down into the tummy. Releasing all muscular effort here. Just allowing the body to be supported by the floor and your props. Just taking a few more breaths here. And then when you feel ready to, just slowly starting to think about moving out of this position. So taking the palms of the hands to the floor, very slowly and gently easing your way back up to a kneeling position. Moving the props to one side, slowly moving the legs back together. And let's just come to lying completely flat on our backs for just a minute or so as we allow our bodies to feel the rebound from that last position. We're feeling all of the points of contact of the body with the floor or your bed. And just noticing what you can feel through the body, having released that posture. Maybe you can feel energetic movement as the blood and lymph refreshes the parts of the body that were compressed. Then let's slowly roll up to sitting and get ready for our second posture, which is going to be Sphinx. So if I just show you what we're going to do before you move into the position. So we're going to be lying flat on our tummy with the elbows underneath. Let me move this way a bit so you can see my elbows. With the elbows underneath the shoulders. You can slightly roll the flesh of the thighs in a little bit. And so what we're doing here is we're just coming into a gentle back bend. So you can either stay like this using your arms to support you, or what's a really nice variation is to just cup the face in the hands so that you don't have to hang on anywhere. So we're really trying not to have to engage any of our muscles so that the fascia can start to release and get hydrated. Another option is to take your pillows and to have those in front of you. You can either rest like this or even just coming to resting with the head to one side. You're still going to be getting that gentle bend through the back. So opening up the front of the body a little bit bringing that compression into the base of the spine. So we're going to stay here for 5 minutes. Again, you can experiment with how deep you go into this position. You can get quite extreme with it, as you can imagine. Another option is to bend the knees. That's pretty intense on the lower back. And you've also got the option here of having your glutes switched on or off. So just finding that point of stillness, taking as long as you need to find the variation of this position that works best for you. And then coming to stillness. Returning to the breath. And thoughts will come into our minds. It's the nature of our mind. We don't have to engage with those thoughts. Just see them as clouds passing in the sky, acknowledging them and letting them go on their way. We bring our awareness back to breathing in, breathing out. And perhaps counting the breath works for some of you. Choosing a number between 2 and 8. Breathing in as you count. Breathing out as you count. Paying attention to what sensations are arising in the body and mind. Seeing if we can practice acceptance of those sensations. Perhaps exploring them. Breathing into them. Got about 1 more minute here, so if you want to back off, that's fine. If you want to have a minute but feeling a little bit more intense, then have a play around with what works for you. Just making sure that you're not creating too much tension. And then taking a couple more breaths here. And when you feel ready to, just very gently moving your cushions out of the way and just coming to releasing the whole of the front of the body down onto the floor, head to one side. Just again, enjoying that really juicy sensation of that rebound. As the body releases position. Turning the head to the other side, maybe just rocking through the hips a little bit. And again, carefully planting the hands, pushing your way back to upright. So the next posture we're going to do involves some advanced blanket folding. So if you've got a blanket, great. If you haven't, don't worry, you can use whatever you've got available. So I've got my blanket folded into quarters here. And then I'm just going to roll it along the short edge until I've got a sausage like this. And this sausage is going to go behind my shoulders. Now, I get quite a lot of neck tension, so I'm going to use my cushion in case I need it to rest my head onto. Now, with the blanket, this one's quite big and fat, so this is going to be quite intense. Not as intense as if you were on a bolster cushion, but if this feels too much for you, then just roll it down a little bit or roll it the other way so that it's not quite as big. So we're going to take supported fish here. So starting with the props behind you, knees bent, and just slowly moving your way down onto the floor. Oh, so nice. And then taking the arms out to the side. Oh, I've forgotten how much I like this position. So again, take as much time as you need to find the version of this that feels best for you. We're going to stay again for 5 minutes, even though I could probably stay here for a whole hour. And once you've found a position that feels right for you, just again trying to see if you can settle into stillness. If it feels too much on your back, you might find that moving your legs so that your knees are bent helps relieve some of the tension. Also, rocking the knees so that they're supporting each other can help a lot. It can help release the lower back especially. So in some ways, this is a really gentle posture, but in other ways, it's very intense. It's a heart-opening position. You might be able to feel that your chest is gently opening. You might be able to feel that compression through the spine at the back of your heart as well. And of course, this is an area of our beings, our bodies, that over the last year at least, we've probably all been extremely protective of. So just allowing this space to gently open while we're here in a place of safety. Connecting with the breath. Just allowing whatever emotions arise to come up to the surface. Feel free to have a really good sigh here if it feels appropriate. Changing the position of the arms depending on how they feel. Trying to stay connected with the breath. Noticing if your mind has wandered and just gently bringing it back. Breathing in. Breathing out. Just a few more breaths here. Again, when you feel ready to, let's firstly just bending the knees, placing the feet flat on the floor, and very slowly and gently taking the whole body over to one side and then coming back up to a sitting position. So let's just see if we can experience the rebound while we're sitting here. Option to put a hand on the heart and onto the tummy. Whilst we notice what's going on in the body after that pose, posture. Perhaps acknowledging any other sensations, emotions that arose for us there. Okay, so we're going to come into a dragonfly now. Lots of different options for this. I'll try and come back so you can see me. So having the feet apart, completely up to you whether you have your legs straight or if it feels more comfortable to have the knees bent. For me, I quite like having my legs straight. I don't take my feet too wide, especially not if we've not been doing heaps and heaps of practice and the body is taking some time to just get used to these gentle movements. So we're going to bring a slight twist into this. So you can see I've built a little tower of all of my props here. Option to have your feet switched on, like mine are here, so pushing out through the ball of the foot, or just allowing the foot to be completely floppy. Some of you might find your feet go outwards, some might go inwards. There's no right or wrong, it's just dependent on how your frame is put together. Now we're going to just turn towards one leg or the other, it doesn't matter as long as you remember which one you're doing. And we're just going to come down to resting the forehead on our hands again. If you want to make it a bit higher, making potatoes out of your fists and resting the forehead here works as well. Or you can come back into resting the face into cupped hands. We're not going to hold this for so long because we're going to do it on each side. So we're going to take 3 minutes here. Just remembering that we're not going to be tolerating any sensations of pain or significant discomfort here. So if it feels like too much of a stretch, look at what you can do here to ease off. So perhaps bending the knees up. Another option is to pop a cushion underneath the knee. That feels really nice because then you're not stretching out your hamstrings. You can just come to resting. And it's really nice to have that sensation of the back of the knee resting on something. So once you've found your posture, just coming to stillness. Finding the breath. Taking the breath to any places in the body that you are feeling the stretch of this position. Remembering that you can always back off or take it a little deeper as the body starts to soften into the pose. Staying with the breath. A couple more breaths here. And then in your own time, placing the hands onto the floor, each side of the leg, gently easing the torso back to upright. And then changing over onto the other leg. So don't feel that you need to mirror on this side the version that you did previously. None of us is symmetrical. And it may be that what worked on the first side doesn't feel right this way. So again, take that little bit of time to explore what feels right for you here. Taking your props over onto that leg, just gently turning the torso so that you're looking towards the big toe of that foot. And then making your way into whatever version of a fold feels best for you. And if it doesn't feel right to fold at all, that's completely fine. Just staying upright with that slight bit of a twist through the tummy area. You're still going to be getting all of the benefits. Coming to rest in stillness here. Reconnecting with the breath. Just impartially observing what sensations are arising through the body and mind here. A few more breaths here. And then when you're ready, slowly making your way back up to center. Moving the props. And then supporting the legs to come back to center. So hands underneath the knees, bringing the knees back together. Give them a little bit of a pummel. They feel like they need it. And then we're going to come into our final relaxation now. So making your way into Shavasana, lying on the back. If it feels uncomfortable for you to have the head on the floor, then of course please use a cushion or a pillow. And it can feel really lovely to have something underneath the back of the knees here as well. If you've got something to hand that can cover your eyes, maybe an eye pillow or something like that, then please pop that on. So do whatever you need to do to get yourself feeling really cozy and warm here. Pop on any socks. You can use your blanket to cover yourself over. So take as much time as you need to find the position that works for you. I'm going to sit up while you all lie down so that I can take you through a body scan. So making all of the final adjustments to get really comfortable and warm here. Feeling the whole body supported by the floor. Closing the eyes. Completely letting go of all efforts now. So I'm going to go through different parts of the body. And as I name each part, you don't need to do anything. Just take your awareness to that place and then move on to the next as it's named. Crown of the head, forehead, back of the head, the nose, lips, inside the mouth, chin, neck, inside the throat, right ear, right eye, right cheekbone, left ear, left eye, left cheekbone, the chest, rib cage, abdomen, the spine, the base of the spine, pelvis, right shoulder, top of the right arm, right elbow, right forearm, right wrist, left shoulder, top of the left arm, left elbow, left forearm, left wrist, the right hand, palm of the right hand, right thumb, right forefinger, second finger, third finger, the right little finger, the back of the right hand, the left hand, the left palm, left thumb, left forefinger, second finger, third finger, the left little finger, the back of the left hand, the right buttock, right hip, right thigh, right knee, right lower leg, the left buttock, left hip, left thigh, left knee, left lower leg, the right ankle, top of the right foot, the right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe, the sole of the right foot, the left ankle, top of the left foot, the left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe, the sole of the left foot, bring the awareness now to the whole body, lying on the floor in Shavasana. The whole body breathing by itself. Begin to notice the sounds around you. Sounds that are nearby. Sounds that are far away. Begin to make some little movements through the fingers and through the toes. Starting now to lengthen the breath. Gently moving the head turning it from side to side really slowly. And if you'd like to, on an inhale, raising the arms up over the head, stretching out through the fingers, through the toes, and releasing on an exhale. And then gently bringing the knees in towards the chest. So bringing in one knee, then the other. Giving yourself a little hug here, maybe rolling a little bit from side to side. And taking one arm to the floor, gently rolling over onto one side, it doesn't matter which one. Taking a few deep breaths here. Keeping the eyes shut if you can, if that feels comfortable for you. And then when it feels right, gently making your way back up to a seated position. Maybe crossing the legs, perhaps just having the legs out in front of you. And keeping the eyes softly closed, that feels all right. If you'd like to, bringing the hands together into prayer position, Anjali Mudra. Thumbs connected to the sternum, to the heart space. As we take just a few more breaths here. Noticing any subtle shifts in how we're feeling now compared with how we felt at the beginning of the class. Perhaps taking a moment to remember any intention we set at the start of the class. And gently bowing the head, releasing the hands down into the lap, softly blinking the eyes open and lifting your gaze. Well, thank you very, very much, everybody. I'm just going to unmute you all for a moment. Except I don't know how to do that. You might need to unmute yourselves if any of you want to say anything. But thank you all so much for joining me for this experimental practice today. It's my first Zoom class, so I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know, just feedback to me on email or messenger, or however we've been in contact. Let me know your thoughts, whether or not you'd like me to do any more classes like this. Any feedback is very welcome. So if there's things that could have been different or better, or things that you would like in another class, please let me know, because I'm going to be moving on to doing a lot more teaching from now on. And obviously it's got to stay online for the time being. So I hope you are all doing okay after that, and I hope we can all connect again soon. So thanks ever so much for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you. Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nora.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.